This is Saint Jerome of Crypto Experiences bringing you yet another crypto experience. Today is March the 18th of 2023. And watch it, set your clocks back. It's going to be the year 2000 and things are going to happen real bad. That didn't seem to quite happen. Like this young lady is panicking in the year 2000. To be honest, I thought there's going to be a lot more trouble than there was. And there was going to be trouble. But as I started hearing from some of my computer programming friends about November of that year, they got a handle on it. For those who are young, may not realize that there was error encoding on when we had our computers, and we could have got to a 00 conflict and it could have reset a lot of things. When you are dividing by zero, bad things happen in computer language. But we came out pretty good. There were some minor things gone. They got underreported. I heard there was a little trouble with a nuclear plant in Japan at that time. A couple switching things didn't quite work, but overall, we came through that night pretty good. So don't need to panic like this young lady here. But maybe we should panic like this. It looks like the whole city's exploding behind me. What is going on? The building's on fire. Other buildings are on fire, but wait a minute. That's not a real photo right now yet either. I sure hope we never have anything like that. We got to be careful because sometimes just those scares like that we're just acting a little bit like this little guy behind me. The infamous Chicken Little who said, "The sky is falling, the sky is falling." He went out and told all his little animal friends that the sky is falling when it wasn't falling at all. So are we being Chicken Little? Are there some good concerns? And I'm thinking, maybe there's is a concern going on right now. I just did two podcasts. The last two we talked about the Silicon Valley Bank, and now since then there have been subsequent bank problems, and I would say bank runs. So maybe the sky is falling a little bit. This podcast, ladies and gentlemen, is going to address different types of survival funds, survival money, survival currency, things you can prepare yourself to be non-banked if you need to be non-banked. But before I shut off of this page, let me just remind you that this is not financial advice whatsoever. It's just what some people might do. It's what some people are thinking about. But it's not financial advice. Just remember that. We have those YouTube people to think about, right? And we have other things to think about too. Well, maybe not the sky is falling, and maybe not the computer's going to reset, and maybe not complete apocalypse, but maybe we're headed towards a little rerun of 2008 or another bad one, 1929, with a big financial crash and all markets going down. Matter of fact, a lot of people are saying that we're going to see stocks fall greatly. We're going to see the devaluation of the dollar. We're going to see a big downturn in cryptocurrency for a short term. That may be hard to get right now because we have a little swing this last week. But there are some people who think that we're going to go to a big crypto downturn, but then it's going to pump way up. I'm not saying which camp I'm in exactly to play it safe, but I'm kind of, if I had to pick a camp, I would go the camp and then the camp. Whoa, up there somewhere. So position yourself accordingly, but not financial advice, correct? Well, if we do have trouble with banks for a while, like the ATMs aren't working, they're limiting your deposits, they're limiting your funds, you can't use your credit card, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Not financial advice, but sure would be handy to have some of this green fiat pieces of paper that after a while in Weimar, Germany became wallpaper and fuel, and they made kites out of them. But a couple weeks after anything happens, they're going to be, as cash is going to be king in some people's opinion right off the bat. So it doesn't hurt to have some of that handy. Um, who's to know how much you need? It kind of depends on your living expenses, how well prepared you are already for different scenarios. A lot of people said you should have some survival food on hand, some canned food. Canned food lasts for a long time. Have lots of water. Water is more precious than food, actually. We may go through a couple tough weeks. Maybe they turn off the utilities. There's a lot of things could happen. So it doesn't hurt to have some of this, that if you can get the store and not fight over it at all, cash should be king for a little bit. Some people have got little kits like this that have some things they may need in case they lose power or they get stranded on the road. Different scenarios. This little kit, and there's a lot of these on Amazon, and honest to goodness, they're pretty good price. They're anywhere from about $15 to $30. You have flashlights and tactical pins and a knife and a spoon in there, a little saw, paracord, fire starters. There's a lot of things in these little kits that make them valuable if you're in a tight spot and need some supplies. Here's a little more home-centered kit. Let's see some things. You have duct tape and water. You have a walkie-talkie for communication. You have a wind-up radio. And I'm familiar with this radio. It also has a light in it. So when you crank the handle, it sends out, it can be either light or listen to the radio. I think it's short wave too, and you can get international news, kind of what's going on. There's a couple of flashlights over there. There's a compass. There's a whistle, some medical supplies, face mask, more desk lamp and water carriers. You can get to a water supply. A lot of people have water purification in here too, and some types of food. I don't know, canned food, maybe not the best thing, but some type of food also. So the number one thing to have in tight times and financial downturn are actual things, physical things, food, water, clothing, heat, shelter. But you might need some finances. So this is going to be solutions, some survival currency. Uh, there's three here that I particularly think that was going to come in handy. In the lower right, we have cash of different denominations, of different countries, even depending on where you live. We have precious metals. The biggest two, of course, are going to be silver and gold in the top right. And in the bottom left, we have different cryptocurrencies. May not be everybody proponent of those particular, but those are the three big areas to go into. Not financial advice, but what's coming in handy probably right off the bat, some people say it's going to be the cash. And then we may be running into a time we'll have to wait and see what else could be in play, whether it be precious metals or it could be the cryptocurrency. Well, some people take some currency, some fiat currency, and they roll them up real tight little places and hide them different places. So it may not be the safest thing, but you definitely should be able to get to some cash on hand. Not financial advice. If it was me, my opinion, I don't think I'd take all my cash out of the bank, but maybe having some on hand is a good idea. If you look on Amazon, there's all sorts of kind of different places you can keep cash in and keep it kind of safe. There's different kind of diversion safes. Those aren't ones that really keep people out of them, but they hide where you keep the money. You can get a real safe that's hard for somebody to break into. Some people do caching where they take PVC pipe or build in stuff and they put different valuables in that and bury them in their yards. I mean, there's a lot of things people have done over past. During the Great Depression, people put current money in their mattresses. They trusted that more than they did the banks. Huh, imagine that. Precious metals will be a valuable type of currency to have. Gold will store a lot of value, but one drawback on gold would be if you want to trade for something small. You want a loaf of bread and all you got is a 1 ounce gold coin. Right now, the going price for a gold coin is almost $2,000. So that's a very expensive loaf of bread. So what's another thing you can do to have some precious metals and people can accept them? Well, one little trick that people have done is to use 90% pre-1964 and before American coinage. And as all these coins, except for one I see in there, the Ike dollar, there were some that had a little bit of silver in them, but when they were 90% silver, They had to be before 1964. So I see some very old coins here. You got a peace dollar, which was a silver dollar. You have a Kennedy half dollar. So 64 was 90% silver. You got some old quarters, barber quarters, Mercury, walking liberties. You do have the George Washington quarters that were silver. So all of these are 90% silver, and because they're already like American currency, they're easily recognized and pretty easy to convince somebody they're silver. They have a different sound when they hit a hard surface. And if you have something little as a Roosevelt dime or Mercury dime, you can transact in that small denomination. Um, those are probably about $1.20, $1.50 right now worth of silver. The silver dollars are going for a pretty high premium. They are about $30 or more. It's just like, wow. When I was a child, you took your dollar bill, that dirty green fiat bill, into the bank and said, Mr. Bank Teller, I would like a shiny new silver dollar for the trade for my fiat dollar. But I didn't say fiat, I didn't know what it was. And the teller magically whipped up a silver dollar and gave it to you. Now, if I was a little brighter boy than I was, I could have kept those silver dollars and I'd have at least 30 times my original investment, right? Wow. That's pretty good, even from the time period I was born in. So silver has held value, fiat currency has not. Gold has held value, fiat currency or not. So there could be a time after cash loses its luster with people that bartering precious metals could come in handy. Um, I heard that during the oil crisis back in the 1970s, I was a participant of that. And they were rationing gas, like in California, if you had odd or even license plates or whatever day it was. Some gas stations let you cut the line in different places if you actually bought your gas in silver instead of cash. How about that? So it could come in handy for some strange situations, and is so good possible barter if you need it. And you can still, after any financial troubles are going away, if you need to change in whatever is the latest currency, you can convert it. It's pretty convertible. Hey man, I thought this was crypto experiences. You're talking about currency and fiat money and things like that and apocalyptics and survival kits. What the heck? Well, here you go. Here's the crypto experience part of it. So here's overlaid a representation of different uh, cryptocurrencies. I see Litecoin. I see XRP. I see Bitcoin. And I'm not sure what that is over there on top left. Not sure what that is. And then in the background, we have different fiat currencies. I see Dong. A lot of people believe those are going to be valuable in the near future. That's a possibility. Just talked to that guru of RV and QFS, Mel Carmine, Mr. Ripple, and he's going to tell you that it's definitely worth something. So I won't go into that here at this time. But yes, cryptocurrencies can come in handy. Now let's discuss which ones might you want to have in your survival kit. Uh, Not financial advice. Well, I know two people would be happy if it was Bitcoin. I actually know several people, Max Kaiser, for example. But how about President Bukele of El Salvador? He has brought a lot of prosperity to the country by transferring over a legal tender to Bitcoin, but also the US dollar at the same time. They are unbelievably going to do their mining to save on energy costs for mining Bitcoin with volcano power. Wow, there's many pockets of the country where you have no trouble. If you have your cell phone, you got a little Bitcoin, you can use the Strike app. If you're on Bitcoin Beach, you can use the Bitcoin Beach app. Uh, Now, someplace a little rough, but they're getting a lot of ATMs now. I think they're up to probably near 100 in the country. It's a pretty small country. So if someone gets paid in Bitcoin, it's not too bad for them to go and trade right away. So um, that sounds like a good idea. What's the downside of any cryptocurrency in this situation when we might have things down? And that, folks, would be The computers and electricity. We'll talk about that a little bit more here in a second. But first, let's do a lineup of currency. Well, here's a guy that'd probably be a little upset if you didn't have this in your survival bag because it's Bitcoin Ben. And Ben, it's part of his name, Bitcoin Ben. So I bet Bitcoin Ben would want to have a little Bitcoin. And if you've been noticing the last few days, it's been doing pretty well. That reminds me, I have my 100 Satoshi contest for when I get my 1,000th subscriber. You must comment and be the first person to comment in that video where I get my 1,000th subscriber. And then I will send you 100,000 Satoshis. But you know what? I'm going to be a little bit of a spoil sport. I'm going to put a cash limit on it. I know cash with crypto at $100 because the way crypto is going up now. So if it gets up to $100 USA, that's where I'm going to cap it. But we got a ways to go. It's worth about $28 right now, so it's gone up quite a bit. I'll be happy to do that for the 1,000 subscriber. So maybe you just want to combine that survival kit with a little handy knapsack and flashlight and everything, and include in that some Bitcoin. We'll talk about how you can store that Bitcoin in your survival pack a little bit later. What's the next coin up? Well, I would say right up there with Bitcoin for some survival currency to have would be Litecoin, the one on the right. Now, of course, these are just physical representations of the electronic numbers, the digital numbers. And I can hear in the back, and it's getting to be an old currency now. It says 2014 on this picture of what a mock-up of a Litecoin, but it really goes about 2011. It's a very old digital currency as far as digital currencies goes. When we consider Bitcoin really took off in 2009. So I can hear two proponents in the back in my right ear, and they're saying, Litecoin, get out of the vampire casino. Oh shoot. I'm not a drinker, but if I was a drinker, I had to take a shot then, I think. What am I talking about? Well, why don't you go watch on Friday nights at 4 o'clock Central Standard Time, Litecoin Lisa and Clint Westwood with Happy Hour, and they would be purporting Litecoin big time. So a little reminder of Litecoin Lisa and Clint Westwood Happy Hour at every Friday at 4 p.m. And there's quite a family growing there. It's quite fun to go to. I highly advise it and learn more about getting out of the vampire casino. All right. I hear the XRP people saying, don't forget about XRP. And as I discussed in my last couple of videos, I believe we got two camps going here. We got the Litecoin, Bitcoin and the forks off of it, like Litecoin and kind of Dogecoin, some of those coins. Then we have the ISO 222 compliant coins. Leading the pack on those is XRP and the new one coming up to discuss XLM, but there's other ones too that are good. Um, I, not financial advice, but I see value in having a little of all. The only one that's crazy price in a sense is Bitcoin. It's up there $27,000, but folks, you don't have to have a whole Bitcoin. You can have parts of a Bitcoin. So you can divide a Bitcoin into 100 million parts and each of those is called a Satoshi. And you can use them as if they are whatever the currency value is and compare it to Satoshis like that. And then XRP may have gone up today, but it was hovering around 38 cents earlier today. XLM, which we'll talk about next, it was hovering close to 9 cents or so. So you can get quite a few of those still and keep them in your survival pack, not financial advice. But before I go, XRP is purported to be going to be moving liquidity between the financial institutions, maybe moving gold-backed assets. I can hear this guy in the back of my mind saying XRP is the only one, even though he does like XLM a little bit too. And he has a nice big blue chair go from now, and he is a big proponent, of course, of the QFS system. Not financial advice from me, but maybe. Okay, go on. Well, finally, in my imaginary survival currency bag, we had cash, we had precious metals, and we had Bitcoin and Litecoin and XRP, and I would throw in Stellar Lumens. Stellar is represented by that slashy symbol over there on the left side of the screen, and also a rocket taking off to the moon. It is purported that XLM will move silver, perhaps, that XLM will move the transactions between individuals, peer to peer, versus XRP going financial institution to financial institution, whatever those will be in the future. Probably won't even be called banks, I'm hearing, but what do I know? I don't have any financial advice to give. And for XLM, I hear in the back of my mind, I hear Emily Tang of the Quantum Financial System, biggest person out there that is giving a big push to XLM. And it's kind of interesting to hear her and Mel Carmine go back and forth between XRP and XLM. Why put these in your bag? Well, a lot of the transactions are going, looks like they're going to go at least for short term in the ISO 222 compliant system. And these two coins are compliant with that. They're Swift is going to replace the current system with compliant tokens such as these, which will make transactions just seconds versus days and days sometimes, and cut the fees to almost nothing. So this was Emily when she was on the Vin Nyaman show. Good podcaster. But Saintjerome, what do I keep my coins for the apocalypse? Where do I keep them for survival? Well, it's a good idea that if you have any electronics, a computer, a cell phone, a Trezor or a Ledger, or there's many other digital wallets out there that need to be plugged into the wall. Here are some Faraday bags. I'm not sure which company this is, but notice they come in all sorts of sizes. Um, if it was something of mine that was very valuable like that, not financial advice, I might even combine several bags together. These are different size bags. And why would you have a Faraday bag? If there's any kind of electrical discharge, it should protect your electrical device from being hurt. One of those is an EMP, that's electromagnetic pulse. If there's any bad actors out there that don't like our country and they want to do us harm, this is not a secret for anybody. So I'll tell you what they could do. They could put a couple of nukes up very high in the atmosphere. And it's, for example, a nuke going off above central United States would wipe out a lot of our grid. And so, not just a few of those EMPs could take out our grid. So these Faraday bags will protect your funds until the time when you can reboot everything and get to your cryptos. So that's one way to do it. If you have other electronics too, like your computers, and like I said, you can put those in Faraday bags. They even make really big duffel size Faraday bags. Here is a big duffel bag from a company called Mission Darkness. So you can go directly to their website and get some Faraday bags, or you could get them on that Amazon thing I heard so much about. But a lot of companies sell Faraday bags. So just a suggestion. You can even get EMP devices to plug into your circuitry of your home or your vehicles, and they will stop the EMP damage to you. Of course, if the grid goes down, and unless you have your own power system like solar or battery or something, you may have some issues for that for a while, because if our grid goes down, it's going to be off for quite a while. But you can get devices to plug in, and they are even sold on Amazon now. I've heard, I'm nothing to do with this company, but they have good devices, I've heard, and that's EMP Shield, and I believe they sell devices on Amazon even now. First, our U.S. military has used a lot of these devices to be prepared for in case we were to have an attack. But you can also get EMPs, folks, from just a solar flare too. That's a big magnitude. There was a big one that happened back in the 1800s before we really had a lot of electronics, except for telegraph, and some of all the telegraph wires and stations and stuff caught on fire from that solar flare. So it doesn't hurt to be prepared. But the absolute safest crypto wallet to have during the financial redo, and you need some survival currency and you want to make sure it's going to make it, would be a Ballet wallet. Now, why is that? Well, you know what? You don't even have to store it in a Faraday bag. All that crypto is you have a public key to receive your crypto funds, and you have a private key to send your funds or to cash out into something else, your funds. And the Ballet wallet stores those digitally. They store the public key right up front in this QR code. It's okay if you see that code, because if you try to mess with it, all you can do is send the person money. This is a gold-plated card. They have a steel card, gold plated. I think it's on a steel surface is $99 about, and the steel plated is about $35. I have a Ballet ambassador. If you think this would be a good idea to have in your kit or just to have on hand, there's a link down below, and I get a little discount. You'll get a little discount on Ballet wallets. I'd appreciate it. Now, to get to your private key, you that little yellow on the right side of that stick, that's a sticker. You peel that back, and half of your private key is there, half the code you need, and then you scratch off the passphrase below, and that's the other half of what you need. There is a digital app that goes on an electronic device, your cell phone or something, or on your computer, of which then you can send your Bitcoin. So again, doesn't hurt to have that electronic device shielded somehow. But if something were to happen, you do have your coin there. And if the internet comes up ever again, which I think it will, you should be able to get back into that. I think they have stored the procedure not just on their device, but on some public some public websites too that everybody can get to restore their code. So good for the apocalypse, some might say. So should preppers join the Bitcoin bandwagon? Well, if you recall in this video, not financial advice, but one might want cash because people will think cash is king for a while. And then if things are bad a little longer, cash may not work anymore, then you may try to barter with your cryptocurrencies. That might be about number two. If things are up and we have some kind of computers and things going. And then three, your survival currency would be precious metals. So particularly silver, because of the smaller denominations you can do, especially with pre-1964 American coinage. So anyway, I hope this was good for you just to think about it again. We don't know what's going to happen. I hope the banks get settled out, but I think it's going to be, this is just my opinion. I think it's going to be down for a while, and I don't think it's going to be getting good for a while. But I am very confident that, and this is my own opinion, that we'll be back up in a few months after we go down. But it's going to be rough for a while, perhaps. So be prepared. If you have any questions, please ask in the comments below. Please give me a thumbs up, a like. If you need some crypto, you can go to Caleb and Brown. I have down below, I have a discount code for Caleb and Brown, and you'll get a permanent 3.5% rate, which is fantastic. And the coolest thing is you get a personal broker. And today, to navigate some things coming up, wow, they came out the night before the bank run at Silicon Valley Bank and warned everybody about, especially about USDC coin, as they had a big holding there. So give everybody a chance to get out of that, which was really, really nice. And it was in time to do something about it. So I appreciate that. Now, I didn't have any USDC coins, so I was fine. Good news for USDC coin, even though it dropped to 88 cents, like holy cow for a stable coin, it's back up around $1 now. So that's good. So I hope it stays there for people, because stable coins need to be stable. If you have small amounts of crypto you need, it gets more difficult to do that all the time. You can go to a ATM, crypto ATM, but and maybe you'll get a discount code if they're having a promotion of some kind. But man, I tried to do some one day. They wanted 21%. What the heck? 21%? Forget that stuff. So lately for small amounts, I found it handy. You go to Strike app, and I have a little discount down below. We each get a little, I think we each get like $5 worth of crypto put in our thing. And the Strike app also can move cash also, I believe. They use it a lot in El Salvador. It's worked out pretty good. But why do that? Well, you buy whatever Bitcoin you can afford at the time where you want to invest, and move it over to Exodus wallet, and then inside the Exodus wallet, you can easily change your Bitcoin to a lot of other cryptos, and get the X ones like the XRP and the XLM, but also does the good old faithfuls like Litecoin and Bitcoin and Dogecoin. So, well, thank you very much. Please hit, like I said, like and subscribe. And thanks for watching Video Day. I'll try to get another one to you soon. Goodbye.